All right. Two very, very important announcements. Daylight savings time in 2 weeks. Wow. And there's only 3 Mondays until spring. Maria Shriver, interesting lady. Kind of followed her a little bit off and on throughout her life. Wonderful background, but she has, her favorite saying is Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind us and what lies ahead of us are tiny matters compared to what lies within. Well, true, and most importantly, have fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look into this.
I paid 25.
I can't resist. You will all now give me your money. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I could not resist. Actually, and the only reason I've got one of my jokes today about that. So anyway, I'll come to that. We do have a couple patron saints by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon. And John said, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. Dang it. Hate that. Oh, that's right. This is where it is. It's George Carlin. Remember, George Carlin, okay? Religion has convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a list of 10 specific things he doesn't want you to do. And if you do any of these things, he will send you to a special place of burning and fire and smoke and torture and anguish for the rest of your life, and suffer and burn and scream until all time ends. But he loves you, and he loves you, and he needs your money. So, yeah, probably not the guy that I know. Hopefully, I know it's not even hopefully, it's not. So, things that make you go, Most men pursue pleasure with such breathless haste that they hurry right past it. We often make people pay dearly for what we think we give them. Ice cream. I know, now that I've got everybody's attention, right? Everybody has a favorite ice cream, right? Yeah, okay. I mean, yep, that's Jan's and mine. That's the one we go to always. Rocky Road. Okay, anything really unusual? Coconut?
Coconut oil. Coconut base, not dairy base.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, I was just about ready to say that really is weird, but maybe not quite so weird. So. Okay. It dates back to the 2nd century BC, when Alexander the Great enjoyed snow and ice flavored with honey and nectar. Modern agriculture has not entirely conquered hunger, but it's coming close. I read you kind of some statistics a couple weeks ago. But except for the Irish potato famine of 1846, was pretty amazing, the Western world has known few real famines since the 16th century. In that era, one disaster followed another. It seemed that things could not possibly get worse. And then in 1586, grain crops failed throughout Great Britain. Thousands of people actually starved to death. Multitudes became thin from hunger. Food was so scarce that when a person managed to get a bit, he was likely to eat it on the spot. As soon as he had a piece of bread in his hand, he would thrust it into his mouth. Such hand-to-mouth existence was so common that the phrase came to be used of any substandard living condition. So, you know where it actually came from. I think almost everybody's been there to some extent at some point in their life. So, I know Jen and I were. So, old people talking. Yeah, okay. Obviously, some guy gets married and I don't have the first page, so I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I get into this thing? Obviously, some guy gets married and a friend of his says, is she a good cook? Nah, she can't cook too well. Well, does she have lots of money? Nope. Poor as a church mouse. Well then, is she good anywhere else? Don't know. Why in the world would you want to marry her then? Because she can still drive. 3 old guys are walking. First one says, windy, isn't it? Second one says, no, it's Thursday. Third one says, so am I. Let's go get a beer. Yep. A man was telling his neighbor, I just bought a new hearing aid and it cost me $4,000, but it's state of the art. It's perfect. Really? Answered the neighbor. What kind is it? 1230. Okay. Little kids, age 4 to 8. Group of professional people posed questions to them. When my grandmother got arthritis, she couldn't bend over and paint her toenails anymore. So my grandfather does it for her all the time, even when his hands got arthritis too. That's love. So, when someone loves you the way they say, when someone loves you, the way they say your name is different. You just know that your name is safe in their mouth. Oh, 4-year-old. And Carl, age 5. Love is when girls put on perfume and boys put on shaving cologne and they go out and smell each other. Chrissy, age 6. Love is when you go out to eat and give somebody most of your French fries without making them give you any of theirs. Okay. Oh, you know what? We got other things to talk about.
Lots of eggs.
Yeah. Oh, we have lots of eggs? Lots of eggs in the back. Lots of eggs. So if someone disappears for a while and comes back, I'll understand. You went to get eggs. Because they do disappear. Who was going to... the expo. I know silent auction... I know Jan and I found a couple of Seahawks thingies for sale this week, memorabilia that we picked up. And
oh, way cool. Yeah, things like that that guys, we really like to have guy things for the silent auction. Guy things are very important. So anything that they might like. One year,
waders.
We had the waders for duck hunting or fly fishing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Brand new, never used, and they went like hotcakes. Those are, men don't always have things in these silent auctions.
Golf things,
anything
tees,
that a man
balls.
might be interested in, or a woman, and for that matter, because I do work with tools, and I have my own toolbox and everything too. So, but anything that you can think of that's around your home that's very gently used, more newer than kind of yard sale-y kind of stuff, we put it out on tables. Bid sheets, silent auction. We have certain items that go out on Saturday all day. They end that auction at the end of the day. All of those are given out, and then the next day we put brand new items out. So anything that you can think of, we are collecting them now, bring them here to the church. Sundays are the easiest because we always know somebody's here, but during the week you can look at the calendar. If somebody's going to be down here doing something, you can bring it in and just drop it off in the back. You can put together gift baskets, themes, anything you like. For the volunteers, Janice is working on that. How are we okay, booths. I still have about 8 booths that I have left to fill. It's difficult at this time because all of the readers and healers and oils and jewelry and art categories are full. Those are the ones who all want into our show. So if you have something different, like Lynn was just telling me about a gal who does sells leggings, that would be perfect. There's another gal who does makeup that's all made with essential oils, things like that. Another gal does chocolate bonbons that's infused with essential oils. I'm trying to get a hold of her. That would be perfect. So things like that, different things, maybe items that they might sell. We do have a gal coming in selling aloe vera and kombucha. She's making her homemade kombucha. So some different things that we're looking at. contact me. Then there's also the lectures. If you are a vendor and you already have your application in and you want to do a lecture, we need to know that. I only have a few. That's what I was just doing. I was going through the applications. I only have a few that I know of right now. So if you want to do a lecture, please. Seminar? Oh, I'm so sorry. Seminars. So we are not lecturing you. We are going to give you a seminar. So there we go. Please let me know right away. Email me or get a hold of me, and then I'll let Sandra know. She's in charge of the lectures, but or you can get
Or the seminars.
seminars. Okay.
I know, it's tough to make that switch.
Seminar. Seminars. That'll be the word of the day, guys. All right. Anything else you can think of? You may. Oh, you may approach. I know. I'm like, what?
And what's the secret word? No, seminar.
Seminar. That's all I have. On the silent auction note, in the back will be these little donation info. There's item description. Please put your value and your name and phone number. If you don't pick it up after the auction, we assume you want it donated to Goodwill or retained for next year's. And if you need help bringing your items, let someone know. And this will be in the back. Okay.
Thank you. And thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. You know, the silent auction is one of those things that when we started a few years ago, my first thought is like, really? I mean, okay. And especially when I saw all the stuff that we had put out, I went, really? It was just, it wasn't up to our current standards, let's just say that. And we made like $600. And I went, really? So that surprised me.
Speaking of the expo.
Yes, I was speaking of the expo. A lot of expo this
I'm
time
going
of
to send this around. Just want to get this started sooner. There's only 23 spots left that need to be filled for our expo. Otherwise, we're totally set for our show. That's
As far as
really
volunteers,
awesome.
We've
Only
had,
23
there's like
volunteers.
120 spots.
No, 135, I think.
135,
Yeah.
good grief.
So there's a couple of spots for the grandfather drum on Sunday, opening and closing. You'll notice that I have some little squares here. I need 2. It'll say how many I need, what it is, and then there's a name phone and a name phone. So put your name and phone number in the square so that I can have 2 people there. Does that make sense? This is a onesie. So just look through there and see what you can find. If there's something that you think you'd like to do, I've pretty much got all the times on there that you might need. So I'm going to start this on this side. And when it gets to the back, here's Pin.
And of course, the reason we have 135 spots is so that 10 people don't do everything.
We've been there, done that. Can't do that again. Okay, so thank you. You guys are like totally awesome.
All right. One day my husband decided to wash a sweatshirt. Seconds after he stepped into the laundry room, he shouted to me, "What setting do I put the washing machine on?" "Well, it depends," I replied. "What does it say on your shirt?" He yelled back, "University of Oklahoma." And what is it again that you said about the blondes? What is that? Okay, yeah, I got that. God may have created man before woman, but there is always a rough draft before the masterpiece. Got out of that one, huh? Stop. No, you're not going to stop. Ooh, really?
Battery time.
And working magic, you can open the stupid thing up. Hello.
Spin them.
Yes, I do.
One touch right here.
Wow. Okay. Well, Plan B, or Jan, do we have any AAAs anywhere? Janice? Janice? Do we have any AAA batteries? Okay. So in the meantime, I will turn this on, assuming that we'll get that taken care of. Yeah. Just make sure that everything is plugged in. Plugged in. Different types of batteries. That would be too easy. I don't remember ever replacing batteries before. Yeah. People on YouTube, hold on a minute. You hear, well, you're used to it, so.
They don't get the music. What are you kidding?
That's true. That's true.
Can't do the music. All you can do is tell them what we're playing.
Any good news? Oh, okay.
Rise, I say. I'm glad the batteries worked that time. Oh, funny. How many of you grew up going to church? Was it anything like this? Aren't we glad? Oh, good grief. Where else can you go and have so much fun? Changing batteries. Seminars. That was priceless. I wish I had videoed that. We did. And you know what's really cool about that? Is that nobody got flustered and nobody got shamed and nobody got blamed. It was like, why world batteries? It was like, oh, we need batteries. Let's get some batteries. We just solved the thing without having to have all the drama. Don't you love that? I don't know about you, but drama wears a person down. And to be in a place where you can just allow things to be as they are, it's just stuff. It's just stuff. That's really kind of what I wanted to talk about today is energy fields and how to maintain your own energy field no matter what's going on around you. Somebody here had a shirt that says I believe. Who had that? Would you stand up and let people see your I believe shirt? Stand up. Oh, isn't that the coolest thing? Those are awesome. Those are awesome. We at the Divine Fellowship, we don't care what you believe, we care that you believe. You know, Phil and I have our own unique kind of belief system. I don't think we believe the same things as one another. But we believe, and we can honor, respect, and appreciate that. And like these angels, Angels Among Us song, you know, oh, I believe there are angels among us. I believe that too. I believe that too. The really cool thing is that belief system isn't based on guilt. It's based on love. The good book talks about faith. I don't really want to go here, but I kind of do. I'm going to start here. Never mind. Faith. Turning the page. So faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. So here's the thing. Sometimes we have to be like NCIS or CSI. You gotta find it. You gotta look for it. And sometimes its evidence is really clear, but we gotta look for it. And oftentimes we don't look for it because we're busy just being on autopilot. There's this this is from probably a year ago in the newspaper, thought for the day. Well, it's a thought for today, it's a thought for then, thought for now. Kind of timeless. I do not believe that sheer suffering teaches. If suffering alone taught, all the world would be wise. To suffering we must add mourning, understanding, patience, love, openness, and the willingness to remain vulnerable. Because sometimes life is trying to tell you it's not working, nothing is good, it's all bad. Sometimes life tries to teach us that. And sometimes it does a really good job. And you're like deer in the headlights. But when you have faith and you know the evidence, you've seen the trail, you've hunted it down and it's real, then it's just stuff. It's just stuff. Phil and I were talking the other day. He's like, we've been through so much stuff that you've been through. Homeless, ill health, had a son, teenage son on drugs, run away. What else have we been through? Oh, jobs that we hated. No jobs. Would have liked to have had the jobs we hated at that point. If you experienced it, we might have already kind of had some flavor of that. And what carried us through was faith. And this faith is based on evidence. And you look for the evidence when things are good. Because when you're down, you can't see anymore. You can't. Well, I know it's there. I don't see anything. All I see is the struggle. So let's talk about energy fields. This is how energy fields come in. Because if you can anchor what you get when you're in a good place, or reasonably good place, if you can anchor that in your energy field, then you can carry that with you no matter what is going on around you. No matter what is going on around you, no matter what other people think of you, no matter what boss is yelling at you, no matter what, you'll be okay. You're going to be okay. Because you have your energy field is set. Yeah, see, rings true. So how do we do that? How do we set our energy field? Well, it's your intent. Well, I don't know what to believe. I don't care. I care, but I don't care. I don't care what you believe. I don't care if you're struggling. Seeking is a beautiful thing. Doubting Thomas was awesome because he said, I don't believe it. So not believing isn't a problem with me. I think yay for you because you're questioning. It's that blind, okay, whatever you see. That bothers me. That bothers me. But to question, yay, good for you. I don't know what to believe. Oh, wonderful. Because you're looking for evidence. Seek and you shall find. Funny how that works, right? And the evidence is there. But often when we're in trauma, we can't see it. Because remember we talked about brain science, blah, blah, blah. And when we get in trauma, we go in this primal brain, which is survival. And when we go in the primal brain, the frontal lobes that have all this awareness shut down. So how do you get from, oh my God, I'm scared to death, the world is freaking out, and I'm freaked out about it? You bring yourself into conscious awareness. How do you do that? Oh, how can you not? It's simple, but not easy. One thing you might want to try is breathing consciously. We're all breathing all the time. I don't know about you, but it's real shallow breath. But if you just take a mindful breath, and you're aware that oxygen goes in, oxygen goes out, good things come in, good things go out. Oh, I'm okay now. That's just one way. And once you start being conscious, bringing your awareness to the frontal part of your brain, activating a different part of your brain, then you can have new insights in what to do next. Then you can be inspired. Wonderful things can happen. Angels can show up in your life. When we're not conscious, we're just blind and can't see. I told you this before, they did a research study. They're always studying something, but they don't study me. It's a scary thing. And they studied positivity. And people who have a positive outlook, they tested them, gave them this little test. And then they thought that was the big thing that they were there for, to do this research project. But the real test came afterwards. They put a $20 bill on the sidewalk as you walked out the door. People that scored really low on being optimistic were pessimistic or discouraged or whatever, disgruntled, whatever, never saw it. And most of the people that scored really high on that test saw that $20 bill. If you want good stuff, shift your thinking. Set your energy fields with your intent. Be aware. Now here's the thing. We get in autopilot not because we're bad people. We get in autopilot because we're trying to just function. We're just trying to get through. Trying to get through today. And maybe yesterday was really, really hard. So today we're just kind of just barely getting through. But if we can get into this state of being mindful, shifts everything. Shifts our awareness. Helps us to be clearer in our own world and helps our world to be clearer for us. So here's the thing. So you have your intent. Maybe you're going through some really hard stuff. There's people in this room going through some really, really hard stuff right now. And some of you, I know, you're really struggling to try to keep this positivity and this power of intent. I get you. You're awesome. Hang in there. So what you can do is you can then, with this positive thought, and it's not just, oh, la, 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 everything's going to be fine. I don't have to. It's being consciously aware and knowing that I need to be really careful of my next right step. What is my next right step? Can't think too far ahead. You know, I know the goal is out there, but I'm also focusing on just being. Not in the past, not in the future, but being. Filling this inner cup so I can really be in my own life, right? That's what we do. So as we have that intent, the energy field around our body shifts to that. And everything around us begins to resonate at that. Say, but Janice, there are some really icky people in the world. And they walk past and I'm all screwed up when they leave. I get that. Especially if you're very empathic, very sensitive. If you can set your energy intent, this is like, let me give you an analogy here. Let me back up a minute. I had this rose bush once, and it just wasn't doing well at all. And I dug it up and put it in the sunshine, and it bloomed its full head off. It needed the proper environment to bloom. It was hanging in there in a shaded spot. Well, it wasn't shaded when it got planted there, but things grew over it, and then it got shaded. So wherever you are, maybe that's where you have planted yourself. And it's time to uproot and move into a brighter, sunnier spot. That may not require you physically moving. This is emotionally, spiritually, mentally moving your consciousness into a new state of being. Letting the sun shine on you so you can bloom. Okay? And when you're in that state where you're feeling this light shining upon you, you are more likely to perceive the good things that manifest themselves for you. Now your CSI talents and skills can manifest. Now you can see that $20 bill on the ground. You can see the good things because you're open to them. Now, you've got yourself planted in this new space. Okay, and you do that with your intent. I'm choosing to live in a positive space today. Choosing to live in a positive space for 5 minutes is a good thing. You know, do what you can do. If you have to reset every few minutes, do that until it becomes habituated, a pattern that is anchored in your energy field. You can also, some essential oils really are a good assistance with that. Crystalline energy is really good with that. They'll hold a resonance. You can program one to hold whatever resonance you're choosing for yourself. So maybe the world outside of you is telling you you're not good enough. Okay? And you know what? If our energy fields are not set by our intent, we'll prove them right. And then we beat ourselves up. See, they're right, I'm no good. But if you change that and say, I'm worthy, I'm breathing, I'm suiting up, I'm showing up, I'm not perfect, I'm doing what I can do, that shifts your energy field. And you can anchor that with essential oils, crystalline energy, that sort of thing. Then wherever you go, it's like you're carrying this little thing with you. You're in this little ball. Remember little hamsters? They run around the little ball? This is your energy ball, and you're carrying it around with you wherever you go. So negative people or people who are having issues, I went to a class yesterday. The person next to me was a friend of mine, and we were having a blast. La, fun. And the people next to us in the table over here, I was like, and when this person said me, it was like, oh my gosh. And that really can stifle a person's creativity to be around that sort of thing. So I just like, heck with this stuff, fortified my shields. Actually, I just put more energy in. My intent was to not be drawn into that, but I'm going to be here in this energy of joy and love and fun. And it was great. It was great. And I could hear them, the volume of their voices seemed to dim. They weren't talking any softer, but my awareness was tuning them out. They weren't the loudest voices in the room anymore. I heard silence instead, and they were muted. It's bizarre, but it works. It really, really works. Had an interesting thing happen the other day. Talk about angels among us. There are things that you can do to help other people with their energy fields. You know, you can pray for somebody. That really, really works. Prayer is awesome. It's powerful stuff. Texting somebody on Facebook the other day, and somebody had taken a class from me years ago. She moved far away, someplace where they talk like this. I'm not sure where that is, but she has this. And she even touched y'all. She types y'all, and so she was asking me a question. People text me and ask me questions all the time. How do I deal with blah, blah, blah? So, here you go, give a little information. And she said, thank you, you're such a blessing. And I have this spiritual practice that I do that I never verbalized before, but for some reason I felt the need to verbalize it. So I said, here's what I said. Whenever I see your name on the Facebook feed and you've made a comment, I speak your name to the Lord. And she's a believer, follower of the way. She's a believer. If you are someone, I see your name, and sometimes I'll light up for me, or I'll see your face, or I'll just be mindful of you. I speak your name. And if you're not a follower of the way, I honor that. I speak your name to Creator. I speak your name to the universe. I speak your name to all that is. Because again, I don't care what you believe, but I do know that you believe. You believe that there's something better out there, and you're a part of it. Right? And you believe that there is something better out there that wants to bless you, and you're a part of that. You're willing to receive that. Don't know how, or don't know where that's coming from, but I'm gonna be a part of that. So just know that you can do the same thing. If you know somebody is really struggling right now, speak their name to the Lord. Speak their name to Creator. If you can't do the Lord thing, if you can't do that, speak their name to Creator. Speak their name to all that is. You've got this. And it is powerful what it does for another human being. It's powerful. Because we can share light. And when we share light, you walk in the door here, it feels different than other places. Because this place has this vibration that we are now attuned to. We now are vibrating at the same energy level that's higher than the rest of the world out there. And you can take it with you. Recall it into your inner being and know that it's a part of you. This is what you're meant to feel wonderful all the time. You get to. So as you are mindful of that, you can take it with you. And here's another thing you can do with that. It's really fun. When you get to your house and you get ready to go in your back door, or front door, wherever door you come in, imagine an energy waterfall of this same energy flowing down over your door. Just imagine it just flowing down. That's what you're going to remember, yeah. And what happens then is whenever you're out there in the world doing whatever you're doing, you come in your door and this just washes that away and resets this inner energy for you. Because we all get caught up in it. Because that's a powerful thing. Not because it's more powerful than we are. It's just tends to pull us down. And then that's all we become mindful of. So this energy will help us restore that. You have a right to it. You have a right to be happy. How cool is that? You have a right to be confident. You have a right to be joyful. You have a right to be blessed. You have a right to be peaceful at all times. You have that right. But it's a choice. That's good news, bad news. Good news is it's a choice. Nobody can make you. Bad news is you got to make the choice. Because sometimes being miserable is not fun. Oh, you want to pass it back? That way. So I have a guided meditation I want to take you on.